Hey everybody, here's a quick setup of my in-ear rig. It's pretty simple. I got a Roland TM-2 and a Mackie Mix5. This is perfect for vocalists, guitar players, bass players, drummers, or whatever. You won't need the TM-2, you just need one of these. And I'll show you what you do. When I get onto the gig, I'll give the guy my line out here into a DI box so they can hear my trigger through the PA system, and then they mic my kit. Once I do my sound check, they'll give me either a XLR cable from the sends of the Snake, or I'll just get a regular cable, TRS cable, and I'll plug it into channel 1, line in. After I am doing my sound check and I'm getting my levels, I can now adjust the overall volume of the mix through here. The nice thing is coming from my Roland TM-2 into this channel, I have my kick drum. So mainly the only thing I ever seem to ask for is more kick in my monitors. This would be similar to a guitar player wanting more guitar, a vocalist wanting more of themselves. Now you can just take this knob here and adjust your own level in comparison to the overall level of the mix. Sometimes if you have a, say, you know, everyone's getting the same mix on stage, if everyone in your band has one of these, each person can turn themselves up a little more. Another setting would be in a jam scenario. If you have everything mic'd into a mixer, you could take the output of that, split it into 4 of these, and now each member in the band can adjust their own levels, and that way you can jam it a lot quieter because everyone, as they turn themselves up, seems to increase the overall volume. The main mix is overall, and then the headphones are based off of that. So I can usually leave that just a little bit above unity, and then I'll adjust my headphone mix accordingly. This turns up both, so once you have the levels set correctly, you can use this for the overall volume in your in-ears. Another thing for drummers is if you have a Roland TM-2, I used to just take a headphone and plug it into the headphone jack directly into my left ear, and all I'd have is kick drum in my ear. When you adjust the volume knob on here, it adjusts the headphones. It also adjusts the volumes of the outputs. I bought a set of the Ultimate Ears UE5s, which sound amazing, but they're very loud. So I would turn this down. Now the main PA system, they're going to have a lot less volume. So what I can do is leave that at full and just adjust this and lower my kick drum for myself. One thing to be careful for with the Mix5 is that it only has, I believe it's 14 or 16 volts of phantom power to the channel 1 here. So if you got a really high voltage hungry condenser microphone, it's probably not going to power it, and you would go to the Mix8. And I wish I almost would have got the Mix8 now because I have a lot more room in here I didn't think I would have. And it has 2 XLR inputs and a few more sends, and I think it does the full 48 volt phantom power. Part of my setup too, I also carry this bag of goodies in a backpack. I got extra headphones, extra TRX cables, headphone extenders. Always have extra headphone extenders. These things break all the time. I got about 4 or 5 of them. And sometimes, depending on how long your power cable is, if this thing has to sit further away from your guitar or your drum set, it's nice to have a couple headphone extenders to run to where you need to be. And an extension cord is another good thing to have. You'll see here, I have an extension cord just for regular car for Canadian winters here, but I plug my power bar into there. And that way I can run it across the stage if I don't have a power outlet nearby, and that way I'm not running a headphone cable across the stage because, you know, if it gets kicked or something like that, it's going to get ripped out. So having a long power cable and a long headphone cable, you can still, I want this close to me too. If I notice at some point that my drums are, the kick drum's way too loud, I just want to be able to go like this on the fly and not have to worry about it. If you do get a bigger mixer, you could actually put a few condenser mics on the stage, or you could even get some just regular dynamic microphones and point them at the guitar amps if you want to. So this is pretty much it. Most of the sound guys I deal with are actually pretty decent, so I don't have to worry too much, but I always find I like a lot of kick drum, and I never have quite enough kick drum. Even if they turn it up in the mix, the whole mix seems to get louder, so I would rather just have control of that one thing for myself, and depending on the song too, I like to adjust it. So yeah, for $60 for that Mix5, I can't really complain. It actually sounds really clean. I've been able to crank it. There's a small amount of hum in the background because they're not the highest end preamps in the world, but once again, this is just for me sitting behind my drum set and having a little more kick drum, so it doesn't seem to bother me at all. I'd rather have that than end up paying a couple $100s for a high-end mixer with good preamps that I'm not going to use for anything because I have a decent interface already for recording.